Hey people, I just came back from the post office a little while ago and I'm very excited to show you what I found in my mailbox today. So I'm actually an old magazine freak and so this is very special. So finally the Midjourney magazine arrived. Just yesterday I was on YouTube searching for anybody who did a review on this and couldn't find anything. Just one like really weird video, somebody saying that the whole thing is a scam, which of course I didn't believe. It seems the Midjourney magazine is arriving late for a lot of people. I live in Jordan here, and so today is the what's today? Today is the 18th of May, and I found the magazine in my mailbox. So I got really excited about this and decided to, okay, this is not a box, so I can't call this unboxing. Let's call it an unwrapping. I wanted to unwrap the magazine with you all. I think lots of people are interested to see this magazine. I mean, for me, this is a crazy project. I mean, Midjourney is the first kind of AI tool that kind of has, at least amongst the creative community, has gained kind of wide recognition. I work in branding, and I think in terms of brand, and I think Midjourney has really succeeded in coming up with a brand and not just with a technology, and that's very interesting. I mean, look at the other things from OpenAI, names like ChatGPT and so on. They sound very technical. Midjourney is taking a very kind of human approach to its branding, and that's reflected also in the way the company CEO David Holtz approaches this entire AI issue. I spent hours listening to him, speak to his audience on the office hours of Midjourney on Discord, and the guy seems to really believe that he and his team are creating a tool ready to expand the imagination and a tool to give kind of visual creativity to the entire world. And he has a kind of an optimistic view of AI. And also because this is about kind of image making and so on, there's this artistic aspect to it. There's definitely an artistic commitment at Midjourney that really sets them apart. Now, we'll talk a little bit about the branding of Midjourney, but let's just look at this. Also, this came in a plastic wrap. It says here the plastic wrap is 100% biodegradable. Interesting. Isn't it crazy that like at the dawn of the age of mainstreaming of AI, that Midjourney comes out with a magazine? I mean, for me, I grew up on magazines. It's insane. I mean, the feeling today was when I just took this out of the mailbox that, I'm back to my teenage days, like looking at the computer magazines of the 80s. We used to wait for those magazines as kids, like, we just counted the days and the hours until they arrived. And I used to buy a lot of magazines, and I basically stopped. There's maybe one magazine that I still buy when I travel. Anyway, so what do they have here? Midjourney is an independent research lab exploring new mediums of thought and expanding the imaginative powers of the human species. The magazine is a monthly publication to highlight and develop the artwork created by our global community. So again, we see this commitment to to humanity and to the artistic expression of humanity. What do we have here in the back? Where did this come from? I mean, it's not clear where it probably was mailed. It seems that it was mailed from Brooklyn. So let's just break this open and have a look inside. This is really exciting. Okay, here we go. Wow, we've seen the cover on Midjourney on the website itself. Yeah, this is really nicely printed. Okay, so this paper here, mailing label. Okay, this is my first experience with this magazine. Okay, so yeah, interesting. They start with this interface, with the upscale 1, 2, 3, 4 and variation, and the interface you see on Discord. That's a nice touch. Yeah, I mean, nice contrast here between something that kind of is a little bit more realistic and something a bit more abstract here. Oh wow, yeah. Showing off the kind of more cartoonish aspects of. I mean, I'm not going to show you the whole magazine. I mean, for people who have subscribed to this and probably are waiting, I'm not going to spoil the entire magazine. So I'm just going to look at just some selected pages. Amazing, the boy and this owl, and then again more abstract. It seems, yeah, imitating the old masters. Now going here into extreme photorealism. Again, this was probably, this whole magazine was probably created before version 5.1 came out of Midjourney. Here's the cover. Here's this image that the lady that we see on the cover. That's quite amazing. I mean, it's quite a rich magazine, and here we have some articles, interviews. I mean, speaking of this, and the reaction of the artistic community. I mean, I can totally understand that people are worried about this, and this is again against this dichotomy that is going on, especially with Midjourney. They come out with an AI tool. Everybody's talking about either the legalities of this. Is this legal? You know, I mean, and you know, are artists being compensated? You know, there's a whole movement of artists now discussing that this is actually unfair to them as a community, and you have some loud voices actually speaking about this. And yet at the same time, you have a community that is embracing this, and you have people who are artists and both also non-artists who are embracing this. I mean, if we look here at the architecture, especially the architectural community, I am an architect by study, and I can, you know, I see the unbelievable potential of just architectural imagination with a tool like this. I mean, here we can see this again. And again, you know, the cultural aspect is also very, very interesting. You know, which cultures are being represented, you know, within that body of data that these tools are being trained on again. But I mean, just back to this issue that, you know, here is AI, this kind of force with so much promise, yet also so much threat. Okay, I mean, these things are being discussed in Congress, and people are, you know, people, scientists, technologists, and so on, are really worried about what might happen just in the next few years about jobs. We talked about the legal aspect of this, and here is Midjourney coming out with this magazine. I mean, what is less threatening than a magazine? I mean, I think this is a brilliant branding move, and I want to talk a little bit about the branding of AI, and I touched on this just a moment ago. You know, when we went into the web revolution, you know, in the mid-90s, you know, I mean, even just take back the branding of tech in general. I mean, I always say there's the Apple way, choosing the word Apple as a brand for computers and now phones and watches and so on and so on. But Apple is one school in branding, and then you have the Microsofts of the world, you know, where, you know, the whole branding is based on technical terms. Okay, Microsoft, I mean, who even knows why Microsoft is called Microsoft? I mean, microcomputers and software. I mean, my God, I mean, today's younger generation wouldn't know anything about this. So So again, now, you know, also this also happened in the 90s. Okay, when we had the first search engines and so on, you know, which brands had a more human name, like Yahoo and so on, which brand names came out with a more kind of technical, mathematical kind of approach, like Google, which, you know, was derived from a number. And here again now, at this new dawn of this amazing kind of new technical revolution, then, you know, we get again this dichotomy in branding again. You know, people come out with tools called OpenAI and ChatGPT and things like that, and acronyms and Gen 1 and what have you. Okay, or, you know, stable diffusion. What the hell is stable and what is diffusion? I mean, again, from a branding and just from a linguistic point of view, what does all of this mean? But then, you know, you come out, a company like Midjourney comes out and says, you know, we are in the middle of a journey. It's a journey to a kind of a new human reality. It's a journey to, you know, we're in the middle of a transition, probably as a species. Okay, this is what the AI theorists and AI enthusiasts, I mean, are talking about. So so this idea of being on a journey, okay, on a new journey for humanity. I mean, that is an idea. That's a human idea. That's an idea that evokes certain emotions and so on. There's a destination that we are going towards and so on. So that's very different than companies that are called like OpenAI or Gen 1 or Stable Diffusion. I'm thinking of actually writing a blog post just to expand a little bit more on how these companies are being branded. And again, just let's look at some pages. I mean, animals. Again, these images are just getting better and better, and certainly. I mean, I've used it extensively also for my work, to explore certain visual ideas. Again, insects and kind of marine biology and flowers. I mean, okay, and here we go into food photography. Some people are saying that this is the end of stock photography, and I don't know if that's really true. But yeah, I can totally see, clients and companies using such images for their marketing. Okay, I mean, it's very clear that the magazine is kind of, for every few pages there's like a visual theme, and then in the end we go back to the prompts and so on. So okay, so this was here it says it was designed by the Asimov Collective in Brooklyn. Okay, and what do we have here? Asimov Collective. Okay, so the name of the design company is prominently featured in this magazine. Just let me see if there's a table of contents. Okay, and then they have the name of each creator of the images, and then they have the prompt, of course. But it's interesting that this magazine doesn't have actually a table of contents. Okay, so there's images. Again, I don't want to spoil the entire magazine, but then in the middle of the magazine there are interviews and there is more text. Josh Larson here, or is it just one interview? Anyway, so this has been a first look at this magazine, the Midjourney magazine. It just arrived today in the mail. I am super interested in this entire combination of here is some AI art, but here we're giving it to you in the form of a print magazine, non-threatening, human, something that you can touch in your hand, something that you can show to people. It is quite an experiment. I mean, I really learned a lesson here, in branding and in communication. How do you really surprise people with a product? I mean, I find this remarkable. So anyway, this has been it, the Midjourney magazine. If I hope I did not spoil too much of it, but it's I really wanted to share this moment of opening it and just sharing my quick thoughts in this quick YouTube video. So bye.